So, in part of my video about heating up crystallized honey, dealing with crystallized honey, I wanted to make this little addition. I'm sure other people see this happen, and I'm not sure what it is or what causes it. But when I heat up a bucket of honey that's been fully crystallized, I heat it up. I stir it with my paint stirrer, like I've showed you guys, and then I let it settle out. You know, still warm. It settles out, and it gets this thick layer, like a 1/4 inch thick, of this very lightweight, whipped up, marshmallow cream, for lack of a better word. And a lot of people are probably gonna say, "Oh, well, cream honey, it must be cream honey." This is not cream honey. This is what I would call honey cream, because it rises to the top, and it is absolutely delectable. I mean, it is the... I don't know if it's somehow the smaller sugar crystal for some reason float to the top, or if it's air bubbles that float the crystals. What it is, I think it's got to be something to do with entrained air, because I've only ever seen it come to the surface on a bucket after it's been heated and stirred and whipped. Maybe it's whipped honey. What some people call whipped honey, but I think most people, what they call whipped honey is the same as cream honey. But what I'm wondering is, if I stir a pot like this back up, you see the honey gets very dark right now. That's the normal color of the tower honey. If I stir it back up with all that excess cream in it, it turns the whole batch almost like a light orange color. And I was thinking it was because of all this entrained cream. So what I just tried now is I skimmed it all off instead, and I put it in this jar, and that's so that I can enjoy it for a super treat. My daughter said it. She said, "Daddy, there's ice cream in there." And she's almost right, because it's amazing the sweetness and the deliciousness of this creamy foam on top compared to just full honey. But I'm gonna stir it up now and see if it turns the same, kind of light orange color like it did before. It kind of looks like there might be some submerged, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I just want to show you guys that. See if anybody else had seen this. Like I said, honey cream or honey foam, whatever you want to call it. Not creamed honey. Call it foamed honey, or just call it, like I said, I like to call it honey cream. It's my honey cream. It's the cream of the crop. It rose to the top. So just kind of wanted to show that and talk about it and see if maybe anybody else out there has seen this and knows what it actually is, if it is anything more than just, foamed up honey. So kind of interesting and absolutely worth having a taste.
Get in here.
Alright, so there's your answer. I just slapped the drill in there with the paint stirrer on it, and I stirred it real good for about 30 seconds, and you can see a lot of the cream is still around the outer edge, but it did not change color. Let me take you inside and show you. Kenzie, honey, no. Let me take you inside here and show you what the color difference is. This is what it looks like if I whip it up with that cream in it. So these jars, they're still warm. You can still see it's liquid. I just bottled it, so you can see the air bubble in there. But it has that real light whipped up color. And I think I'm on my way to accidentally recreating cream honey again. This stuff does crystallize faster, and when it does, it's crystallized, but it's more uniform crystal. But it's still not as smooth as truly cream honey. It has kind of a grit to it. But it looks like by pulling that cream out that the honey did not whip up into that appearance again. So I'm going to go ahead and bottle up a few jars of that in half pints and pints, and then do the rest in quarts. And what I'm going to do then is take one of these versus one of the others and set them side by side and see how they act over the next couple weeks, if one sets up faster than the other or what happens. So yeah, like I said, just kind of sharing, kind of interesting, and there again, here's that fabulous honey foam. And I can taste it. When I taste it, I can taste a little bit of grit in it, a little bit of crystallized honey in that foam, but it's not solid, it's just little bits here and there. So maybe that jar of foam is something that I'll be able to use as seed crystals for future batches of intentional cream honey. I think that might be what I'm working towards. And again, don't take this as science from me. You can go look up how to make true cream honey, how the science behind it all works. There is a true process to it. I just kind of like to figure it out myself and see what happens. So anyway, cool stuff, and looks like I'm on to something here as far as separating the two out. There's a good example of how the honey cream flows, just so you guys get an idea of the consistency of it. Absolutely amazing stuff. I'm trying to put it in a smaller jar, but I think I'm going to have a lot of residual left in this jar that, doggone, I might just have to eat it out of the jar. I'm darn sure not going to throw it away, you know. What a shame to have to eat all that. If you guys don't hear from me for a couple weeks, I'm probably in a diabetic coma, but it's going to be worth it.